Hello, I'm Jay Bowman with FMI, and I'd like to share with you some of the observations from our first quarter forecast for 2022. As we turn the calendar, it's often worth reflecting on where we've been, but it's also a good time to think about how we think about things, meaning going a little bit below the surface to really understand, well, what are the things that are driving construction spending, and how will those things determine the opportunities that are afforded us in this new year? The turn of events that we witnessed in 2020 only gained steam last year. You may recall that construction spending in the U.S. increased by 6% in 2020, which again is amazing given the fact that many industries were shut down for several months. And when the final numbers come in, 2021 looks to be up 8%, driven primarily by the residential sector. So what then should we expect for 2022? Well, it's probably some good and some not so good. Let's start with the not so good. For our first quarter forecast, we're currently anticipating construction spending in the U.S. to end the year up 5%. While this does represent a continuation of the trajectory that began in 2020 and in 2021, it is a slower rate of expansion compared to last year. However, this is largely influenced by the residential sector, which represents almost 50% of total construction in the U.S. When you look at 2021, residential construction was up 21%. However, for this year, we're projecting it to be just up 6%. By comparison, non-residential building construction, which was actually down 3% in 21, is forecast to end 2022 up 3%. Likewise, non-building structures, which is primarily civil construction, which was up 1% in 21, could end the year up 7%, largely due to the federal infrastructure bill passed late last year. It's been said that distance makes the heart grow fonder. Perhaps that's true of construction spending as well, as we put more years between us and the onset of the pandemic that burst onto the scenes in early 2020. Looking at the individual segments, I would draw your attention to a couple of them that really look to improve their fortunes in 2022. The first one being conservation and development, which was actually down 10% last year, could end up 2022 up 7%. Likewise, transportation, which was down 4%, now being up 2% this year. Educational, which was down 7% in 2021, up 1% in 22. And finally, power construction, which was down 2% last year, it looks to be up 6% in 2022. There's also a few honorable mentions that I would point out. The first being manufacturing, which was actually already strong at up 7% in 21, now forecast to end 22 up 12%. And highway and street, which was up 2% last year, now up 7% for 2022. As I previously shared, it's a good time of year to really be thinking about the next levels down, what's really below the surface in terms of construction spending, and again, the opportunities that they afford you. I also would suggest that you contact one of our investment bankers or consultants to talk about how these projections truly will influence your business going forward.